We need to talk about bisexual erasure, and we need to do it right now. In case you're new here, hi, I'm Camille, I'm bi, I like talking about it, and good, now that that's done. A couple of weeks ago, Bowersox joined the growing list of openly bi celebrities when she tweeted, "Let's set the record straight, I'm bi." And then she released this entire single about coming out for Christmas. Literally, that's what it was called. Now, this is the clearest kind of coming out we could ever ask for. This is not a Frank Ocean or a Tom Daley scenario when we say, oh, I'm dating this person right now, but I may still be attracted to another kind of person, and we flail around trying to fit them into a box that they don't want to be put into. This is Bowersox telling us exactly what words to use to describe her, so that should be easy enough for us to do, right? And yet, headline after headline told us Bowersox is out as gay. Now, I understand how this could happen, and I've talked about it before. Even though I identify as bi, I call myself gay all the time for a number of reasons, and that could be anything from wanting to identify with the movement to wanting to avoid indirect questions, things like that. But the difference here is that I'm the one who's choosing those words to describe myself, and therefore giving other people permission to do the same. When you set them down next to each other, gay and bi are not the same thing. So when Bowersox tells us that she's one of them, it's delegitimizing and frankly kind of rude to plaster all over headlines that she's the other one. I mean, she couldn't have made it any easier for us. What is the problem here? The Huffington Post also messed up with regards to bisexuality not long ago when they reprinted parts of an interview with Alan Cumming under the headline, "Alan Cumming sounds off on being bisexual despite being married to a man." Camille sounds off on being omnivorous despite eating a salad. Camille sounds off on liking animals despite having a cat. Camille sounds off on loving the Harry Potter series despite currently reading The Order of the Phoenix. I'm not, it's actually my least favorite one. Being married to a man falls perfectly under the purview of things that a bisexual man might do, so why are we framing this as if Alan Cumming is doing something radical, or as if bisexual men never get married, or as if people in same-sex relationships are exclusively gay or lesbian? Do you see how just the word despite in this headline is dripping with negative implications about bi people, even if they're subtle? Camille sounds off on being bisexual despite having a girlfriend. You're damn right I am. To the HuffPost credit, Alan Cumming did say something like, "I'm bisexual even though I'm with a guy," but again, that's okay because it's coming out of his own mouth and it's in his own words. So HuffPo, if you're gonna put that in your headline, at least use quotes or something. I mean, come on. So why is bisexual erasure such a big deal? Great question. It's delegitimizing. It takes away a bi person's agency by saying that we don't know ourselves well enough to describe ourselves. It reinforces the fetishization, especially of bi women, saying that we are novelties or that we do not exist, that I do not exist. And it especially perpetuates the stereotype that there is something wrong with being bi. And you know the stigma that surrounds bisexuality as well as I do, that we're all cheaters or that we're all sex crazed or that we can't commit to one person or make up our minds. And you know what? Maybe that's true of some of us, but it's also true of some gay men and some lesbians and some straight people and some of everybody in between. And to assume that it's a cause and effect relationship just for bi people is really hurtful. There's also plenty of room here to yell about the patriarchy, which is my other favorite thing to do. Plenty of people on Tumblr have pointed out that when people make gross stereotypes about bi people, it often goes a little bit like this. If it's a bi woman we're talking about, there's a good chance they're gonna say, oh, you know what, she's probably just experimenting or she wants attention, but she's actually straight. And if it's a guy, they're gonna say, oh, well, he's probably closeted and he's actually gay. So what we're saying is that bi women must actually like men and bi men must actually like men. When we erase bisexuality, we default back to this gay-straight binary that doesn't work for a lot of people and that also upholds the idea that everybody must like men. So that's a problem that builds into heterosexism and homophobia and misogyny and all these other structural problems that really could be solved just by paying attention to people's freaking identities. Okay, so it's actually a lot more complicated than that, but I mean, it couldn't hurt. Once upon a time, back in high school, before I came out, I asked this boy I liked if he would ever date a girl who was bisexual, because clearly whether or not I came out should have been based on whether boys would like me. And he said, no, I probably wouldn't, because you don't know where they've been. I was 16. I mean, Daddy, how do you bounce back from that? Whether you're bi or not, use whatever language you want to describe yourself, and please tell other people why you use that language and what it means to you, and have conversations about how you identify, because it's really interesting, and the words that we use to describe ourselves mean something, so like, why shouldn't we talk about them? Above all, just please respect each other and be nice to each other, because that's what matters above everything. Thank you for watching. If you want to see me rant more about bisexuality, subscribe to the channel and check out some of my past videos. I will talk to you next time. Yelling about the patriarchy in my parents' house. La 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 la.